That was not that's portrayed on people's apparent, murder attempt by something from else.
The prosecution argued the video evidence shows a very different account and that Farina's actions are tied to Brooks's death.
It seemed pretty clear that he was trying to rub the pepper spray into Mr. Brooks's face. From there, he did punch Mr. Brooks in the face repeatedly, and that is the only blows that landed on Mr. Brooks' face. And the evidence showed that before, Mr. Brooks did not have a broken nose. After this assault, he did.
He rejected a plea deal last month and faces 25 years to life if convicted.
Yet he's one of 17 named in a federal civil suit filed by the Brooks estate. Separate from the ongoing criminal proceedings, Walters is now suing the New York State government for refusing to defend him in that lawsuit, claiming his rights under New York's public officers law. That law grants state employees a taxpayer-funded defense if they're sued for actions taken within the scope of their duty. That means that the Attorney General's office can defend them directly or pay for their private legal counsel. However, the Attorney General's office declined Walters' request.
In Oneida County Court, attorneys disputed their client's role in it.
But this is a very dangerous case for Mr. Gallagher, who didn't strike anybody, because he gets caught up in the indictment and in the process of the people with whom he was grouped.
The defense for Officer Matthew Gallagher asks for the charges
Tried to break his neck,
arguing a cooperating sergeant lied to the grand jury.
Sleeping.
The special
That dude is
prosecutor
dead or
claims
whatever.
there's other evidence.
Wow.
To then jump into that fray, hold Mr. Brooks down while he continues to be beaten, and then to additionally contribute to what appears to be the fatal exchange. That's significant. And to do those things, knowing what was going on, we submit does demonstrate great indifference.
Mr. Walrath, how then do you plead to the second count, manslaughter in the first degree, guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
Just over a week before he was due back in court, 36-year-old Christopher Walrath accepted a plea deal with the special prosecutor in connection to the death of Robert Brooks. That deal, plead guilty to manslaughter for a sentence of 15 years in prison with 5 years post-release supervision. It's a deal that the family of Brooks agreed with. Walrath was initially charged with second-degree examination of evidence in...
When they kill a guy, black guy especially, they tend to get mad that the guy isn't actively resisting anymore, and they get more mad at the corpse. You know, I feel like that's what we just saw when they were manhandling the mannequin that he eventually became, Mr. Brooks. Yeah, he was lifeless. That kind of enraged them even more, you know what I mean? They start like playing, becomes like a hand puppet or something, you know what I mean? I think in general, a lot of from unnecessary touching up to murder is based on experimenting, you know what I mean? Is he gonna also bleed? Is he gonna bleed red type of shit, you know? They wanna make you bleed so they can examine you if you bleed the same way they do. They pull on your hair to see how you would react to that, you know what I mean? As a black person, have you ever heard like someone ask you, like in good faith, you know, oh, your hair is so pretty, can I touch it? I feel like a lot of that is based on that, you know? That's like the muted version of that. These moments is the perverted version of it. No one telling them, nah, you can't do that type of shit. Like, generally, even the muted version, someone should probably tell you, you know? I understand the differences and all that, but it shouldn't become like this morbid obsession and, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, trying to... They want to examine you to the point where they... Like, when you... In E.T., when they dissected the frogs, you know? It gets to that point.
The case made the district attorney feel comfortable extending him the offer.
December the 9th of 2024, incarcerated individual Robert Brooks was transferred to the custody of corrections officers at the Marcy Correctional Facility, and they took custody of him at approximately 9:07 p.m. that evening. At approximately 9:40 that evening, he was clinically dead, having suffered massive brain trauma from multiple beatings, as well as choking on his own blood. Having been assigned as special prosecutor judge, and you as a former homicide prosecutor understand the mentality, I wanted to get to the why. What did Robert do to provoke this? Not that it was could possibly be in any way justified by a provocation, but there had to be a reason. He had to have resisted. He had to have been assaulted. Maybe he spit at one of the officers. And 8 months later, and hundreds of investigative hours later, I can answer that question as to what Robert Brooks did to provoke his death. Absolutely nothing. This was a simple welcome to Marcy.
Yeah, that's what you should have said, bro. It kinda is too ta-da to say absolutely nothing. Now you should have said, like, he arrived, you know, as himself, and let's be real. I know we can't go there, but I feel like that type of treatment probably is tied to his skin color. Come on now. Would they go to the degree where they try to hang him in that room? You know what I mean? When they had already, like, I don't know what they did. Choked him out. Choked him until he couldn't get oxygen to his brain. They did something weird, like when they tried to stand him up when he's clearly dead. Some type of procedure. Maybe it's ritualistic, who knows, man, but it's definitely, you get a little bit more grace even as a white offender, I feel like. You know, you don't get, like, gang beaten to death. Like, could you call that accidental when they're, like, playing with his corpse? Is that still accidental when he's clearly, like, unresponsive and they're playing with him? By playing with him, I mean, like, punching his dick and shit. It's a culture, man. It's a culture. Why is the first thing, like, responding officer to something like that black kid that flipped him off, that 13-year-old, and they started punching his dick under the guise of searching him, you know, searching his pockets? Do you do that, punching the dick? Oh, interesting. That focus on the penis, on the black penis, like, of the child. I don't know, someone is gonna make that make sense, right? I hope, like, come on, man, I welcome white comments to explain a lot of this stuff to me, you know? I'm not completely... It's better for us if we understand each other. I know you operate usually under the disguise of, what? Racism? No such thing, no, never heard of it. Like, that's your modus operandi. But sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, we're getting to the point where, I don't know, you go the other route, calling black people racist for calling you racist. You're the best. White people, you're the best. You know, you have it figured out. Always one step ahead. Gaslighting. But the reality is, because it's probably hard to just admit that you want to check a black person's pain resistance. Like, that's actually something that probably every white little child has, like, had to kind of battle. Like, social norms have kind of prevented that, but there's always that slight urge. I feel like even the most liberal, you know, with it, ally, I feel like it's like simmering under the surface. It doesn't take much, man. You just have to get... I've learned that, like, early on in my life. You only have to get into a slight argument with a white person for them to go to your skin color, you know? Oh yeah, this is fun.
Many of us, justifiably, I still think, place trust in our institution, you know. People who went through this courtroom, we drop our kids off at school. We trust that they will be educated. We only lock people up for 4 reasons. Number one, we want to incapacitate them. We want to separate them from society so they can't continue to do what they were doing. Secondly, we want to deter future conduct. We want to send a message that this conduct will not be tolerated and you should not follow that conduct. Thirdly, there's retribution for the victims involved. And finally, but certainly not the least, we want to rehabilitate the offender. We want to educate the offender. Does he have a drug problem? Does he have an alcohol problem? Does he have a mental health issue?
Does he have a black problem?
We trust that the person will come out better than when they entered the facility. Robert Brooks came out
blah, blah, blah.
I watched that tape, Judge, that was released to the public. I had difficulty. I'm prosecuted for 45 years. I had difficulty watching that tape. I really did. A helpless, shackled man being beaten, and a beating that this defendant actively aided in.
I'm not shocked or surprised anymore when I see this type of stuff, you know. Like, I'm a German fucking citizen watching American shenanigans on YouTube, you know what I mean? And I see the same shit. The same shit they would do here, you know what I mean? Barring killing you. Like the little huddles they get into after doing something. Surrounding you, dehumanizing you by talking about you while you're there, type of shit. Having fun with it. But these dudes, right, they kill and do that. A little huddle. Compare and contrast. How was your experience doing that? You alright? You alright? Take a breather. No, you're right, buddy. You're right. No, you're good. You're good. You did well. Just take a breather. We did well. We got through it. We survived. We survived. Like as they're choking an elderly grandmother to death. They're the best, man. They're just the best, you know? And even better, you got sheep, like, kind of cheering them on. Can't imagine themselves in that type of situation. Because they go to the movies, they know the newest album, the newest TikTok trend. You understand? It couldn't happen to you. Underneath, like, all that, like, it couldn't happen to you and just rooting for good because the TV's telling you it's good. They're still simmering, that surfacey, knowing it's wrong, but just knowing it's in your best interest, and you're also like part of the masses, you know what I mean? You're the majority, so it's in your best interest to just go with the flow. The black people are slavey as fuck, you know what I mean? Who thinks Robert Brooks probably, who knows, man? Maybe that's actually what got him killed. Maybe he wasn't slavey, man. Because really, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword, man. Because what they're really looking for when they talk about compliance is they want that slavey, they want you to sound slavey. But that's your natural instinct anyway. So they get caught up in the excitement of hearing you that way and wanting more, you know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna stop. They get overexcited and kill you. For a second, they look like, oopsie daisy, I broke him. But then they huddle up and give each other like emotional support and they get over it pretty easy, you know? Then it just becomes a story they tell at the police hangout at the bar, you know? Then it just becomes like something that happened once. Pretty funny when you hemmed that one guy up and he broke on us. Yeah, so you gotta give him a break. You just get caught up like anyone else would, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's some African warlords and their soldiers that get caught up in the excitement of cutting off lips and ears of like mothers and children. So if we can accept that as a reality, white people, can you also like kind of, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just a human thing. My issue is more like that white people are deceptive with it. They won't, their nature, like, it's weird. It's never completely genuine, even if they're like interacting with each other. Maybe they do on the KKK meetings, even when they're like in the huddle, and it's always still under the veil of I'm hiding something. I don't think white people can ever be completely themselves around anyone. But it's in their best interest to like at least fake this communal evil shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's how they survive. Like, it's not this soulful, communal, we wanna hang niggas. Maybe it is, who knows, man. Maybe that's the only way these postcards can be explained, where they're like grinning with their children under like a lynched corpse of a person. I don't know, man. How does that happen? You know, where like children are desensitized to that. Like, I'm not surprised by women, actually. Women actually kind of incite that type of shit. Right? That's their nature, you know. Screaming and hollering and getting people killed. Doesn't have to be even a black person. White, black. Like, women get off on men fighting. Let's be real. They like having power through inciting violence, you know what I mean? Having the power to get men to killing for them or lynching. That's pretty powerful, huh? I guess for a woman, I don't know. It's goofy as hell for a dude. Yeah, the power to incite people to lynch. Like,
I often wonder, had those tapes not been in existence, how much larger the fabrications would have been, how much wilder the stories would have been. I mean, this defendant even told hospital personnel who were trying to save Robert's life that he fell and hit his head. How serendipitous.
Showing off.
Those tapes.
That's what I mean. That's what I love about you guys. You know, you will pretend. That's how Norm Macdonald put it, right? Like, what was it? That nurse killer killed like a bunch of nurses. And then there was like a charge for breaking and entering. So this guy was like that, you know? Like, no, I didn't. I just killed the guy, but I didn't say that. I didn't say he hit his head, and I didn't. That's not how I put it. Semantics. You know, semantics face. You're the best.
To bring us the truth of what happened. I remember interviewing a cooperating witness in this case early on about the falsity of the reports and the lies that were told. And I asked him, I said, when did you all get together to agree to conspire to falsify your reports? And he looked at me with a puzzled look on his face. And he said, agree? Now, we didn't need to agree. That's just what we do. And that told me all I needed to know about this case. To personalize this tragedy, Your Honor, I have the privilege of boarding.
This guy, bro, going to prison for 15 years. Maybe 6. Who knows? But, the attitude, huh? Fatso. He still feels in charge the way he's standing there, too. He's in charge in there, you know? Feel good about himself. I'm a farmer, this and that. It's the status. He's above this all.
My name is Robert Brooks.
Just killed someone, that's all.
December, I watched as you, Mr. Warren, and your fellow correctional officers beat my father. And though I can never truly describe to you the impact your actions have had on me and my family. You took me, Father. You took me.
This guy just hears black shit. Yeah, there you go. Hooting and hollering. That's all he's thinking. Like, he can't see the white shit. You know what unites them? Their hate. That's probably what keeps his spine straight right now. It's the hate that white people have for black people. That redeems them. You know? The locks. This guy's hairstyle, you know? Like, he's judging everything right now. Every fucking racist cunt of a white person too, you know what I mean? I have actually started to think like that, you know? I can really, like, I know when a black guy will trigger white cruelty. I don't know what to call it, man. They get weird, you know what I mean? This fat bastard, bro. Like, when I look at these type of dudes, man, I always, like, kind of try to imagine, like, his weak point. I get into my Mike Tyson mode. I try to, like, dissect what it would take to, you know what I mean?
My son's grandfather, you took my grandparents' son, you took my uncle's brother, and the list goes on.
You don't give a fuck about black people.
It occurred to you that my father was with a family who loved him? In that video, I see you and your...
That's the issue, though. It's irrational and childish, you know, to base it really on a skin color. But then they say it's behavioral. And I can see why they would say that, because it's so apart from their culture, you know, and they live like in a close proximity to each other, so that baffles them, it seems like, you know what I mean? While they're intrigued by it in their younger years, it becomes annoyance, I don't know, then like jealousy mixed with hatred, and it gets more and more perverted, you know what I mean? And then obviously they want to also be part of like the majority. The majority is trending to racism, pro-racism. Like I see like Gen Z wiggers like talk right-wing talking points. How does that happen, man? You know what I mean? Facts. Yeah, but whatever, this guy, you know what I mean? No impact. Victim impact statement, like it has no impact if it's a black guy. That's tragic, kinda, you know? You get 13% weeping or something. Is that what they're telling us? It's only 13% black people? And it's a bunch of Asians too. White people. What about the Mexicanos? Hey, you got it going on, America.
Fellow officers treating him as his life holds no value at all. As if you're entitled to brutalize him for sport. I want you to imagine for a moment what it feels like you love treated that way.
You know, when they hear like a black guy that's not speaking jive, airplane, they probably attribute it to like the white education system, but he fell through the cracks and got an education and learned how to read and write. A white person wrote that speech for him. He is a white speech writer. White ghostwriter. This is dumb.
I want you to imagine watching someone beating your own father helpless, restrained, bloody. I want you to imagine watching your own father be hit with a 50 bullet or being dragged by his neck.
The crazy part is he can't. But if he would, he probably... Now he wants to assault you for even implying something like that. He wants to treat you like your dad, man. For even like throwing that at him. That he could be the victim of something like that, like his dad getting... How would that happen, man? It would have to be a black society, I guess. And would it happen then? That white people would be slaughtered for sport? Those 13% of white wizardry, doing all the wizardry.
I want you to imagine watching all that is happening to your own father and you being told powerless to stop it. I would never get these images out of my head. Day and day, my consciousness without warning flooded me with the worst feelings imaginable. They won't haunt my nightmares for the rest of my life.
I don't know what he said, man. Something about blood curdling. It curdles my soul. The woman that did this on this, what is this? Loving you. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. This lady, she did a poem too. Not Minnie Riperton. This black lady that did a cover of it. Then she did a poem. My blood curdles me. Anyway, yeah, that's when black people try to be too eloquent. It gets a little convoluted. By black people, I also mean just FBAs.
I am not okay, and I never will be. My father has struggled in his life, but was using his prison time to work on himself. He studied American Sign Language, deepened his faith with God, and maintained a healthy relationship with me and the family. He was scheduled to be released July 23, 2026.
This fucking cut of a defendant. Like he keeps like he does this. He tries to look at the fucking judge to get like what the judge is gonna be like. You know what I mean? They're gonna have fun with each other, white fun, on the expense of this little fella here grieving his dad. I'm sorry for calling him a little fella. He's a grown man. But yeah, you know what I mean? He keeps doing like this weird thing where he's like looking to the judge to get like white racism okays of like, nah, we're gonna take care of you. Don't worry about it. He's just crying. White gibberish. Yeah, black gibberish. I'm sorry. How could I, guys? I don't want to lose subscribers.
And he was hopeful for his future. His family was eagerly waiting his homecoming. You took that away from us. Although I can never forgive you, I respect that you admitted what you did and accepted responsibility. And I hope that others have the courage to do the same. That goes beyond what happens in any courtroom. Anyone who watched this video can see that your action did not.
This cop, bro. This cop has the body language. I mean, it's pathetic, huh? The looking down shit, and then side eyeing. It's a true dumb person, you know what I mean? Everything is like written in your face type shit. Like, I love looking at people like that, you know? Ask them a question and everything is in their fucking face. You know? Oh, what? You can't hold it in? Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, my favorite people, those types. I'm Shirley's. Should I laugh?
Occur in a vacuum. You were part of a system that dehumanized my father. Every person in authority who allows the system of abuse and
like, sorry, but did they like fuck with the? Something's off, man. This is too bassy. Something like something it cuts out. At times he sounds like he's deaf, or I'm deaf. One of the two. Where did like purposely trying to make him less eloquent? Is that the media controlling the narrative? What he just say?
That your action did not occur in a vacuum. You were part of a system that dehumanized my father. Every person.
She really said "ehumanize." See, that's yeah. See the black guy behind him to his left. He knows. You didn't say that right.
Allows the system of violence and abuse to exist and continue must also take. Person in authority who allows the system of violence and abuse to exist and continue must also take responsibility. Mr. Warren, you are no longer an actor within the system. Now, Mr. Warren, you are no longer an actor within the system. Now, your life is at the mercy of it. And I pray for your family who is going to have to spend the next 15 years worried at the mercy of it. And I pray for your family who is going to have to spend the next 15 years worried about you. Just.
Sorry, like, I'm sorry, but what's it called? Fucking Eddie Murphy? Saturday Night Live? Hee-pa-po. Happy Marks.
Like all New Yorkers with incarcerated loved ones must do it. No one should ever have to go through what my father and family endured. Thank you for hearing me out. As to the conviction for manslaughter in the first degree, the defendant hereby sentenced to be determined sentence of 15 years in state prison, as along with 5 years of post-release supervision. Further, there is imposed a mandatory surcharge fine victim of DNA fees, which will total $375. The defendant is committed to the sentence.
The offer.
I felt based on the evidence
He's
we
happy.
had of Mr. Walrus' involvement and the
I feel like a white racist probably takes that as a badge of honor. 15 years for tying a black guy to your truck and dragging him to your hometown while you're getting cheered. Like, I don't know. How would you get cheered? Like Sandy Liston returning to Philadelphia after winning the World Championship. Sparse cheers.
extent of the blows that he inflicted on Mr. Brooks, which, in my judgment, were non-lethal, by his plea admitting that he acted in concert with the other defendants. I think it may expedite the other individuals to enter pleas, or may not.
10 guards have been charged in all in connection to Brooks's death. So far, 2 of them have pled guilty. Gallagher will now go to trial in October, along with David Kingsley. The judge says multiple defendants will be on trial in the case of Robert Brooks.
Up next, Officer Nicholas Kiefer, who admitted to putting his knee into Brooks's thigh and pepper spraying him. His attorney says not murder. The prosecution says otherwise.
Nobody said that Mr. Brooks was doing anything that warranted pepper spray. By all accounts, Mr. Kiefer just took it upon himself for no reason other than because he could. But that's evidence in the pre.
I feel like some of these probably should get messing with a corpse. Is there some type of charge for that? I feel like a lot of these guys were beating up on a dead guy. At what point is that lesser charge? Should they still get hooked for the killing? Guys? White guys? Huh? How about that? Gave you a lifeline there.
Difference.
The attorney for the third officer, David Kingsley, asked for their own trial, arguing all this finger-pointing only blames
White guy?
officers like him
Yes?
in the room where Brooks was ultimately killed.
Before Judge Robert Bauer, we had suppression hearings where the courts are determining what evidence can be used at trial. David Kingsley. Kingsley, who was indicted for the top charge of murder, was seen in court today. 2 witnesses were called to stand representing the New York State Police, as both serve as investigators who searched and seized the property of David Kingsley on December 13th, which was only 4 days after the death of Robert Brooks. Both testified today on their process of receiving different items, including the uniform of David Kingsley, and how they both performed audio recordings during the process. One witness recalled Kingsley sharing that he never touched Robert Brooks outside of
Ritual.
him performing CPR. Now, Judge Bauer reserved his decision on whether or not he'll use this evidence at court, along with his decision as to separating David Kingsley's trial from his co.
This was all jerk-off material for them. They were gonna pass around the body cam and laugh about it, jerk off to it type shit. Show the girlfriend, get her horny, have sex. That's how white guys have sex. They show their girlfriend a video of a lynching. Foreplay.
Defendants as defense attorneys requested. Judge Bauer set a pretrial conference for September 22nd, where we can expect Kingsley to be right back in court.
Okay, out on board?
At this time, my client would like to reject the offer.
Mr. Ansel, and I'll go over this with you, sir, to make sure you
America has been so good at like coon training that they have like a bunch of people in the cogs, in the machine, that they can always, it's their race card, you know? You can always say, but there was a black officer doing the deed, so it can't be racism, type shit. I hear that a lot. They always have a token on scene. The media does the same thing, with they put a bunch of token black people on scene reporting. This is token black, reporting from the scene. You know what I mean? Then they have, like, this is the funniest shit. Because I'm not like really into keeping up on shit. I don't know. I've listened to some type of police bullshit video, and the newscast, there were 2 newscasts. The one was straight, you know, your regular old newscaster. They had 2 guys for which should be one job. It was always just one job. You maybe have a woman that, like, you know what I mean, pretty the picture up. But you have like fucking 2 dudes in a suit standing there. The one guy does the first part, and then the gay guy does the throwing it to the on-scene reporter part. I don't know, man. You know, it was just a difference from the one guy to the next. It just put emphasis on the second guy, you know? And one guy just does what we are expecting of a newscaster for the last 100 years. And there goes like, and now to Lucy on the scene. Toodaloo. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Diversity, you know? Loving it. I'm loving it.
People have proposed that if you pled guilty to count 1 of this indictment, which charges you with the felony offense of murder in the 2nd degree, they're then recommending a sentence of no worse than 18 years.
Wimperson got to get in on the beating. I mean, oh my god. That's the best, by the way. That's what I like most. That all types get included unless you just have to believe in Satan and you'll be accepted by it. Like, even the tough guys have to keep this dude's, like, from, if he was on the street, but they're the same types, you know what I mean? They're just like lesser than cops somehow. Don't have the qualifications for that, you know? That shouldn't tell you a lot about them. Couldn't make it as cops. You know, that gets thrown in their face a lot. Like, if he was a cop, you know? There's enough of him, of his type, on the fjords. That's your German cop for you. And if you wonder why I covered American topics, because you're Hollywood and you got the best entertainment, man. Pat yourself on your back, you know what I mean? You did it, man. Got that shit on lock. YouTube is TV now, and fucking this is reality TV to me. German entertainment ain't doing it for me, you know what I mean? If you can give me some German body cam that escalates like this, like yours on the regular, I'll cover that. Because that's, yeah, covering also. Like, really, I'm just reacting. But your shit is more interesting. And I also have personal experience with that type of shit. Before 18, I believe I had like 50 police or not even more, like a bunch of police encounters. When I got a lawyer for one of these incidents, he told me, blew my fucking mind, you know what I mean, how often actually I was stopped by cops. That was all in my papers, whatever you call it, you know. But how often was I like convicted of something? You gotta ask yourself, of these amount of times of getting like harassed before I'm 18 years old. Since then it's become less, maybe it's also with the times. Cops become young, I get older, they seem younger, they don't want to seem like the types that, but they're getting back to that actually. I'm seeing it swing back to that. Now I'm 40 and gotta go back to how I was treated before I was 18. And really just maybe being out of the house more, I would probably get more into it with cops. You know, getting older doesn't make me exempt. It just happened to. I think they fuck a lot more with kids now. That's what it really tells me. They see that as like an easy get or something. Yeah, cops usually don't look for real crime now. Trying to get through the day. Petty shit. Harassing, that type of shit.
That means the sentence will be left in a range up to my discretion. It could be no less than the statutory minimum of 15 years to life, but it would be capped at no more than 18 years to life. If you're convicted of that same offense after a trial of this matter, you could face as much as 25 years to life in state prison. Understanding your exposure and that you may not see an offer this favorable again as we go forward, you wish to reject that today. I'll mark the offer as rejected. Counts of your motions are due to be
There's a lot of privilege going on, man. Motherfuckers think they can beat this shit.
Along with David
Jury.
Kingsley.
Nicholas Gentile was led guilty to a charge of attempted tampering of physical evidence. He was sentenced to a 1-year conditional discharge and will be forced to resign from Marcy Correctional Facility.
On December 9th,
That's all. Was involved in some real shit.
Marcy Correctional Facility. Yes, sir. And
Look at this little fella, bro. Look at her towering over him.
Robert Brooks in the Arsenal area. Yes, sir. And were you aware that that blood was involved?
Man.
With your fellow corrections officer, you cleaned that blood. Yes.
I would assume there'd be different
Clean the
levels
blood.
of bargaining based on involvement.
This is Robert Brooks' father.
Yes.
Great man. Just my heart breaks for him. He is of the belief that if his family just gets a check out of this thing and a settlement and nothing happens and no change comes about, then his son has died in vain. He said, I want change.
Robert Brooks Jr. released a statement about the guilty plea. It says in part, quote, "This is one important but modest step on the long road to justice for my father. Everyone who participated in my father's kill."
Bro. Whatever justice comes of it will be minuscule. Like, to the real reality of the involvement of everybody. Up to the motherfuckers that are trying, like the killers of your father. Like, this is too systemic to be just wanting the justice in this one case. What type of change do you expect from this? The death of the dude? It's always gonna be like some hush money. They're gonna pay you some hush money. And the media is already not covering this shit, so. Your big news stations aren't covering this, are they? This is local, it seems. This is not a national news story. We're gonna talk about this lady that got knocked out, to me, from a white guy in the Cincinnati brawl. Whatever is going on there, bro, this white police chief woman, whatever she is, she's always talking. Also when the dad killed the cop, I guess, or ran him over. They've declared war on their black citizens, I believe. It's not even subtle. I believe they've declared war. And probably that's the first step for like a real race war. The whole fucking of the United, you know? You're so united, you guys? Yeah, that's not gonna work out well, man. Is the majority really the majority? Who's gonna, like, all the Mexicans are gonna, like, they're already on their way. They want to be accepted as white. And if it means, like, actually liquidating all the black people, they might give him that pass. You know? Jesus will be called Jesus now. And we're gonna introduce him to a white daughter. You know? Part of the family. Maybe they're gonna even race mix. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, but I don't know. Nothing is gonna come out of this shit. Too many of these videos, guys. Too many. I just gotta take the approach of, like, this is entertainment value. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it under educational or whatever, fair use, you know, I'm talking here. Type shit. But yeah, am I, like, trying to... I'm not trying to do shit. Just watching shit, reacting to it. Am I hustling by constantly going on about white people? There's videos where I've, like, made it clear and, like, I've kind of caught myself and tried to put myself in the other one's shoes. What if I was the majority? Would I stoop? You know what I mean? At what point do I actually, like, fuck off my morality? Just to hate white people? Is that part of it? Are there times where I see a black person ganged up on, humped to death? Having white officers have that, like, adrenaline rush, wear off, heavy breathing after, and when I'm associating that with, like, hate bonus and, like, post-orgasm flutters, is that me fucking off my morality? Might be. Maybe I should give him a break. Maybe that wasn't trying to kill a person. It just happened that the suspect didn't comply and they had to who's paying compliance. Like, imagine. I mean, is it really second nature for just like unrelated? I don't know. Do you have to be neither white nor black? But everyone has an opinion, right? Like, so you're gonna go a little more one way or the other, even if you're not. Like a Filipino guy watching this, or any type of shit. Is he gonna go to like whatever the cop learned in the, what is it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the academy? Is that second nature to just a citizen that never heard of any such thing? They just know to be citizens, not the police handbook how to handle uncompliant suspects, up to shooting them in the back of the head while announcing that it's gonna be their last day on earth. Mother sucker. Get into the Clint Eastwood. Get into verbalizing. Verbalize your hatred when you make your move. Is that in the training? Wow, that's another video, man. Yeah, I'm having a lot of questions.
Needs to be held fully responsible.
Thanks, Duty Ron. Till next time, guy. One of the heartfelt ones, you know? One of the ex-cops that has a heart.